There is a legal trick sitting inside your superannuation account right now, and most Australians have absolutely no idea it exists. It takes about 5 minutes to set up. It costs you nothing out of pocket today. And it could quietly add $200,000 to your retirement balance by the time you stop working. And no, I'm not talking about dodgy tax schemes or anything illegal. I'm talking about a strategy that the Australian Tax Office literally encourages you to use. It's built right into the superannuation rules. It's just that your employer will never bring it up. Your bank will never bring it up. And most financial content online doesn't even mention it because it sounds boring. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm just a person who reads the ATO website so you don't have to. Now that the boring part's done, let's talk about some genuinely exciting stuff. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what this trick is, how it works, who it works best for, and the exact steps you can take today, in about 5 minutes to start using it. I'll also show you real numbers so you can see for yourself just how ridiculous the difference becomes over time. Here's something nobody likes to say out loud. For most Australians, superannuation is going to be the single largest investment of their entire lives, bigger than their first car, bigger than their first home deposit, and yet, most people give their super less thought each year than they give to choosing a Netflix show. And I get it, super is confusing by design. The rules change constantly, the statements are full of jargon, and frankly, the money feels so far away that it's almost impossible to get emotionally invested in it when you're trying to pay this week's rent or groceries. Here's the uncomfortable reality. The average Australian retires with roughly $250,000 in super, but the Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia, ASFA, says you need close to $600,000 for a comfortable retirement as a single person. That's a gap of $345,000, and that gap exists largely because most Australians only ever put in the bare minimum, what their employer puts in for them, and never think about it again. The system isn't broken exactly, but it absolutely is set up so that you'll stay passive. Your employer puts in 11.5%, which sounds like a lot, until you realize that compound growth over 40 years means even small changes to what goes in early make an absolutely enormous difference to what comes out at the end. This video is about one of the most powerful levers you can pull, and why almost nobody pulls it. Alright, let's get into it. The strategy is called salary sacrifice, and despite the name, you are not giving anything up. You are redirecting money before the taxman touches it. Here's how it normally works. You earn a salary, say $80,000 a year. That money hits your bank account, and then you pay income tax on it, which in Australia at that salary is around $19,000. So you actually take home around $61,000. Then, if you want to top up your super, you do it from the money that's already been taxed. With salary sacrifice, you ask your employer to redirect a portion of your pre-tax salary, before income tax is applied, directly into your super fund. And here's the beautiful part. Money inside super is only taxed at 15%. Whereas that same money sitting in your normal income, on an $80,000 salary, it's taxed at 32 cents in the dollar, your marginal rate plus the Medicare levy. So let's say you salary sacrifice $10,000 a year into your super, without salary sacrifice. That 10 grand would have been taxed at 32%, leaving you $7,600. With salary sacrifice, 15% tax applies inside super. So $9,400 goes into your super instead. That's $1,800 more per year, just from redirecting money through a different pipe. Now the ATO isn't just going to let you dump unlimited money into super. At that low 15% rate, there's a cap. It's called the Concessional Contributions Cap, and for the 2024-25 financial year it sits at $27,500 per year. This cap includes your employer's regular super guarantee contributions, the standard 11.5%, plus any salary sacrifice you add on top. So if your employer is contributing, say, $9,200, which is 11.5% of an $80,000 salary, You can salary sacrifice up to another $18,300 on top before hitting that cap. You don't have to go all the way to the cap. Even contributing an extra $2,000 or $3,000 a year has a compounding effect over decades that is genuinely hard to believe until you see the numbers. Here's where this gets even more interesting, and this is the part most people have truly never heard of. There is a rule called the carry-forward concessional contributions rule. I know, terrible name, great benefit. If you didn't use your full $27,500 cap in previous years, and your super balance is under $500,000, you can carry forward those unused amounts and dump them into super in a future year. You can carry forward up to 5 years of unused caps. This means someone who hasn't been salary sacrificing could potentially contribute over $100,000 in 1 year at the concessional 15% rate. Let me give you a real example. Meet Sarah. She's 35, earns $82,000 a year, and has never salary sacrificed a single dollar. She's been below the cap every year for the past 5 years. That means she has potentially over $115,000 of unused cap space she could contribute in the current financial year and have it taxed at just 15% instead of her marginal rate. That's an enormous tax saving and an enormous boost to her retirement balance. Let me show you exactly where that $200,000 figure comes from, because it's not a random number I made up for a clickbaity title. Okay, it is a slightly clickbaity title, but the number is real. Take someone on $75,000 a year, 30 years old, who starts salary sacrificing just $500 a month, $6,000 a year, into super. They weren't doing this before. That's $6,000 per year, invested in a balanced super fund, returning roughly 7% annually. Over 35 years until they're 65, grows to approximately $235,000 in additional retirement savings. Without salary sacrifice, the same $6,000 a year invested outside super, taxed at their marginal rate first, becomes significantly less, because they'd only actually be investing around $4,100 after tax, plus they miss the benefit of the concessional tax rate inside the fund. That difference, somewhere between $150,000 and $235,000, comes purely from using a tax-advantaged bucket that already exists. You're not picking different investments. You're not taking more risk. You're just routing the same money through a smarter door. All right, I'm going to be honest with you, because there is one real catch, and you deserve to understand it before you do anything. Superannuation is locked up until you reach your preservation age, which for most Australians born after 1964 is 60. That's the law. You cannot access that money earlier except in very limited circumstances like permanent disability or severe financial hardship. So salary sacrifice only makes sense after you've covered your short-term financial bases. Your emergency fund should be solid, at least 3 months of expenses, before you start locking extra money away for 30 years. If you're 22 and drowning in HECS debt and trying to save a house deposit, you have other priorities. Salary sacrifice is an optimization, not a foundation. Your foundation comes first. All right, let's bring it all together. What have we covered? 1. Salary sacrifice lets you redirect pre-tax income into super at 15% instead of your marginal rate, which for most working Australians is at least 32%. 2. There's a $27,500 concessional cap per year, including your employer's contributions. 3. If you haven't been using your full cap for the last 5 years, and your super balance is under $500,000, you can carry forward those unused amounts and make a catch-up contribution. 4. Over 35 years, even $500 a month in salary sacrifice can compound into well over $200,000 in extra retirement money. 5. Super is locked until 60, so only do this once your short-term financial house is in order. Now here are the 3 specific actions you can take today, not next week. Today, because this stuff takes 5 minutes and the compounding starts the moment you do it. Step 1. Find out your unused cap space. Go to the ATO's website, log in via myGov, and navigate to Manage My Super. Under Super Information, you will see your concessional contributions history and exactly how much unused carry-forward cap space you have. This is free. It takes 3 minutes. Do it today. Step 2. Email HR or your payroll team. Ask them to set up salary sacrifice contributions to your super fund. Most large employers in Australia have this set up already. You just have to ask. Start with a small amount if you're nervous. Even $50 or $100 per fortnight. You can change it anytime. Step 3. Consolidate any lost super. The ATO estimates there is around $16 billion in lost and unclaimed super sitting in Australia right now. Some of it might be yours. Again, log into myGov, check your super accounts, and if you have multiple super funds, consolidate them into one so you're not paying multiple sets of fees. This alone can add thousands of dollars to your retirement balance just by stopping the fee leakage. The system is not designed to explain any of this to you. Superannuation funds earn fees on your balance regardless of what you do. Banks have no incentive to teach you tax efficiency, and your employer's HR department isn't going to send you a reminder email saying, hey, you could be boosting your retirement by $200,000. You have to go looking, and now you know exactly where to look. If you found this useful, smash the subscribe button. I know everyone says that, but I genuinely only post when I have something worth your time. Next video, we're going deep on why your super fund's default investment option is almost certainly costing you money, and the one checkbox you can tick right now to fix it. Don't miss that one.